Hello, welcome everybody to the Bilim, a co-design digital platform for agroecology and the use of women and youth. I leave the floor to Carolina Starr from FAO.
Thank you so much. Welcome, everybody. We are here to present to you the Bilim platform. And Bilim is a very meaningful word for most of us. And it means knowledge in Turkish, but not just in Turkish, but several languages from Central Asia. Also, it has this same meaning. And the decision to use this word for this platform is because we need to understand that sometimes the same word can have the same meaning for different people who sometimes don't speak the same language. And this is really powerful. And Bilim is about that. It's about connecting people who sometimes also cannot speak the same language, but they have the same goal in life, which in this case is the small farmers and family farmers from Central Asia and Europe. And that's it. Paula, you introduced all the speakers today, and I'm very glad to have you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Carolina. So I'm just to give you a quick round of speakers that are joining today, a bit live and a bit remote. So we have Ania Coutinho from Gradina Moldovei. Hello, Ania. Then we have Joanna Bocesca from AgroPharma Lab. Hello. Then we have Madina Sardidinova from the Agency for Development Initiative. We have Lily Balog from the Agroecology Network for Agroecology. We have Marika Capanadze from Elcana. And then today live we have Evelyn Leveghi, that is our expert in co-design. And then we have Davide Montenovi, ICT for the expert that helped us to develop the Bilim platform, and Andrea Ferrante from Schola Campesina. So welcome, and I give the floor to Ania for introduction and presentation on the agroecology community network. Thank you. Over to you, Ania.
Thank you, Paula. So I'm gonna share my screen. Okay. I have a presentation. I will use my 5 minutes. Okay. So, yeah, it's loading.
Yeah, we can see your screen. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So
It's coming up. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So, the agroecology community of practice that we developed with all the partners here in the European and Central Asia region, and the importance of young women in agriculture. I'm gonna try to explain what we do and why it's important, what Bilim can do for us, and how we can move on with it. So just to start, what is COP? Please look at these photos, and you will see that many of us, many of this community are women. Beautiful women from Italy, from Kyrgyzstan, from Georgia, from Moldova, from Ukraine, and other countries. So they're, and I could not put all of them here, but this is something to notice. So it's women. Many of us are women, and there is something about it. And I would like to ask you why. What is different between men and women when we speak about agroecology or about agriculture? So I would like to start with something like emotions and rational. Emotions versus rational. What do you see here? So you see here a field, and my question to you would be, does it look beautiful and attractive to you? Because not to me. And as a woman, as a young woman, I seek to enjoy life. I seek beauty. I seek something that inspires me. And here is a photo from my past. So when gardening, when food seemed to be fun to me. So when I was helping my grandmother in her garden, and we had all this diversity of animals and crops and cooking, and it was really nice. But then I went to university, and this is the type of agriculture I was shown. So they didn't show me agroecology. They showed me type of agriculture that I could not identify myself with, and so I was a bit stuck because I was seeking something that I loved, but I could not find it. And then I found agroecology. I discovered agroecology, and please look at this picture and think of that I just showed you before. Is this inspiring? Does it look rich to you? Do you like it? What type of feelings do you have when you look at this? And imagine if you'd be there. So that's what I'm talking about. I loved biodiversity and agroecology. Through agroecology, I discovered biodiversity in agriculture. I rediscovered gardening and agriculture through agroecology. So yeah, and these are other pictures that actually are super inspiring about agriculture. And you see on the left, you see the sheep which are in the orchards. So they're not closed up. They are just walking freely, grazing under other trees. And possibly there are even other animals that we don't see. Then you see the chickens also outside, free. Then on the down part, you also see the picture with different crops that is so colorful. And yeah, it looks very rich and abundant. And then you see also wild fauna. So it's a barn owl that is super useful in vineyards because it hunts rodents and can be useful in other situations in agriculture. So this is agroecology, and this is agriculture for me. And I would like to show you here these women. So these are young women in my country, in Moldova. We're all between early 20s and early 30s, and we all somehow do something about gardening, food, and yes, so we actually found there's something that we love, something that is emotional for us. And here we go: nature, food, gastronomy, and gardening. So agriculture for women, for us, it's not just that field with crops and, I don't know, productivity, harvest, but it's about all of it. It's super rich. It's flowers, it's insects, animals, it's interacting with people when we exchange food or when we exchange recipes, when we try to cook something different, something interesting, or when we refind the traditional cookings from the past. That's what's happening to me now when I'm actually working very, very focused on agroecology in Moldova. And then, of course, it's fun. So yeah, it needs to be fun. So now the question is, so I'm talking all about all of this, and you probably asked.
Sorry for interrupting. Can you conclude, because it has been
Yes.
6 minutes?
Yes, it's last minute. Just to say that, so all this that I said, we can translate into data. We can translate into something that is super helpful for us to recreate this beauty, to do agroecology. So we can transform these emotions into evidence about agroecological practices, about seeds, about biodiversity, about food. And Bilim is a platform for us. It's something that was created with us and for us. And so I see a huge potential in it, because I think this could be a great data bank for us, where we would store all this knowledge and keep building our agroecological world. So thank you. And yes, let's build with Bilim and with our community of practice. Thank you. Okay, just stopped.
Thank you, Anya. Thank you so much for your presentation and contribution. It's really nice to see these linkages between agroecology and the social connection. And in relation to this, I introduce you to Evelyn Leveghi, who will tell us more how we got to the Bilim platform. Thank you.
Okay. Great. Nice to meet you here, and thank you so much for welcoming. So I will share with you a core part of the process that we have done together. As Carolina already said, Bilim means knowledge. We've decided to keep this core concept and to put it in the name with his importance, because it's really the main thing that is to share experiences, but knowledge in each sense. So the project roadmap. So it has been a beautiful path, an interesting path that we've done together, built up collectively by a great COP, community of practice. And I will show you here briefly this part of the journey done together and the lessons also that we've learned. So we started from a big, worthy, and common challenge to define a common tool. So for diverse users, so women involved in agriculture, based in a dozen of countries, as Anya said, speaking different languages, a lot of languages, and to be a safe place where to share knowledge regarding the agroecology practice. And it's not so easy to work and play in a very complex context, but it's a challenge that we wanted to keep. And the main question was how to achieve this goal to and also desire to have a common platform, a space that could be used daily and could be really safe and could be also fitted on the needs of the users of these grassroots farmers with different features. And so, and at the same time, how to approach this process together. So how to realize it and how should it be and work. The main thing, and it's really important, especially for us designers, that sometimes we start so fast to define the main point of a project, the basis, was really to go really deep, to understand, to observe, to listen, to read. So it has been really the priority. So to invest also time to understand the context and the features, the demands, the urges, the desires of the people involved that are not just users. It's important. I will just say shortly, user-centered design is a branch of design that is really interesting, but I totally prefer, we share also that the human-centered design is much better, especially in a context like that regarding agroecology. And tailored, it's not a kind of luxury as we can imagine from this fabric, but it's a kind of, the reason is that we needed to realize something that was tailored, that could be customized, and so not just something that is ready to use, and so something that could really fit the features of the COP and the needs. A safe place, of course. And a crucial precondition to achieve our goal was to think outside the box. And what it means? It means to think in an original and creative way that is easy to say, but not always to apply. And should it especially it's not so easy if it's done collectively and with diverse cultural backgrounds. Design thinking, what is that in the central point? So it's a process. It's an iterative, non-linear process that starts usually with a big phase, with a brainstorming that is so prolific, so important to invest time in this part. And it's possible then to reach a concept. So it's like a funnel. So we start with a lot of ideas and the freedom to share also ideas that could be used later or not. And then finally, to define a way, a concrete tool. In our situation, it's a tool. In other times, it's a product. And it's useful for different reasons. For understand users, as we said, to challenge assumptions, to redefine problems, to reframe them, and also to create innovative solutions. And design thinking involves 5 phases, as you can see. So empathize, implement, define, test, and prototype. And it's really useful to tackle problems that are ill-defined or unknown. And as I said, it's not linear. So are really important the fluxes of specific need to consider new or previous assumptions or to modify settings or other features. And what we've done for Bilim, we have used 3 main steps, participatory steps with a questionnaire at first, like to read the situation and the features. We've done an open space technology that it's a tool that it's typical for the participatory design. Usually is in presence. It has been really a big challenge to do it remotely. Very useful. And lastly, a workshop. So as I said, understanding, main part, and then defining together. So reading, the first part. So the questionnaire was useful to read. And we've understood, so the general profile of our users, of the women of the COP, especially the countries of residence, job role, involvement in organization, which kind of cooperation, digitalization, because this is an important point. We could not start saying, let's do an app, a progressive web app, because a lot of users don't have, there's the digital divide issue, and there's not so much digitalization knowledge. And so we have to take in account these. We have also, as designers, to understand these and to find different ways also to develop the project during the time. Also have something that is concrete, something with the paper, and then in the future, let's hope to have almost everything digital. Then tech habits, cooperation, of course, the social cohesion that is already there. It is so precious, agroecology practice needs. And then, so this is just an example. I will not show you everything here, just to show you how we've worked. So regarding, for example, users cooperation, we wanted to understand which is already today the discussion vitality, yesterday, we can say. So which kind of debate there was regarding agroecology strategies. And so we've analyzed the data, and then we've taken these guidelines for service design. The second step was the main participation phase. So these called the open space technology. So to have the different voices from the diverse countries and with the diverse roles to understand and to listen to them. And in this phase, we could have new ideas, proposal directly advanced from the users. So we have set and understood the strengths and opportunities that the situation already have, the weaknesses and threats, and so then deeply the stakeholders, the places where we can have the access to this platform that is also important. Not everybody has a mobile phone, a personal mobile phone or a personal laptop. The issues, so the missing elements today and what is perceived as necessary, so the needs. Then the third step has been the one that it's more hands-on approach. So defining specifically the contents, so with the proposals from the members and the functionalities that has been then so important to define the platform. So defining and testing the tool, finally. This is the last thing that I will share with you, and then I leave the floor to Davide. So this was the last part that I've done with COP and my colleagues. So it's like the translation of what we've understand together with every person, every member, and how it transforms naturally and with a deep, strong sense in the product that we have, so in the platform. And thanks so much.
Hi all, my name is Davide Montenovi. I'm the one who was in charge of implementing and customizing the technical solution. The design thinking phase has been essential to refine the requirements and meet actual user needs. After that, we just had to pick a software solution. Well, easier said than that. It took a lot of time, effort, analysis, and consideration, but we finally found the right solution for us. We decided to use Discourse. Discourse is a software meant to build forums, allowing people to interact and share information. Discourse is a free software, meaning that everyone is free to run it, modify it, or redistribute it. That was just perfect for us because our idea was to build a community where people having the same interests and value could share their thoughts in a safe environment. And being discourse free allowed us to customize the solution, adding and shaping further functionalities according to our users' needs. Besides being discourse free, there was no dependency from vendors or companies having obviously different interests than ours. We wanted our community to be as free as the software itself. The platform hosts many people from many countries. And that's why we decided to build it to support around 20 languages and multiple alphabets. The user content and the platform itself are translated in real time, allowing people to interact even if they speak different languages. Now, I'd like to move from theory to practice and show you how the platform works. This is the Bilim website landing page. From here, I can access the forum. I just reached the landing page, the login page. From here, I can subscribe or I can log into the system. Perfect. No way. Okay, sorry, this is not my computer. Okay. New subscriptions have to be approved. Safety and protection were among our main goals from the beginning. So we decided to create a group of users called moderators in the platform. They have special permissions to approve new subscriptions and also facilitate the discussions and intervene if any problem occurs. Any user in the platform can get in touch with the moderators to get support if required. Now, this is the platform homepage. It's a forum. So basically, the main thing that the people can do here is create and share posts. Posts are grouped by categories. We have main 11 categories corresponding to the 11 agroecology pillars, and they are graphically shown as cards. If I click on a card, I see all the posts included in that category. Now, since this is a forum, the first thing I'm gonna do is create a new post. I just have to click on the new topic button, provide a title. I'm gonna copy it from here. So this is a new topic, is talking about an upcoming event. So I can enter some text. I'm going to include this new topic in the second pillar, in the category called ecological production. And that's it. So this is my first topic. As you can see, the title and the content are in English. So what if a user from another country is logged into the system, and how can you understand what I just wrote? I'm gonna show you. Wow, too many windows. Okay. In this other window, I logged into the system with another user. His name is Mikhail, and he speaks Russian. As you can see, the whole website is already translated to Russian. So Mikhail can navigate the website and understand whatever the platform itself, the categories, the descriptions. And if he enters the second pillar category, he can find the new topic. This is the topic I just created. Okay. I'm sorry about it. I guess we have some technical issue. Okay.
Just to say, that actually the language part we're going to discuss about later, it's an important component. It's also a challenge because, of course, platforms are not designed to work through 10 or more languages. So there's been a lot of work around it, and it's something that it's a continuous progress also, because it's not possible to add easily all the languages at the same time. So it's a work in progress. And we have started with like 6 or 7 languages, but we have to add more as well. So the platform has the potential to display different languages. But we also, as you can see, some of the components are translating in different languages, but more languages are to be translated and come. And this is a work done together with the developing team, but also the community, because we didn't want just to use, for example, Google translations, because we know that sometimes it doesn't really fit properly with the real language that people talk. And that's why it's important also to rely on human translation. So, and we involve the communities to help us with this translation, in translating, for example, the pillars, the categories, the subcategories. This will make the tool more user-friendly also for the user that maybe don't feel confident in using an automated translation like the one that can be provided by Google Translate or DeepL or Yandex or many other tools. So I just wanted to say that it's important to highlight this point on translation. Thank you.
Thank you. So unfortunately here we have a little technical problem because something is not properly working. And that's a shame because it worked till yesterday. So we'll need to investigate the problem. Anyway, I'm going to explain how it should work. The second user, the Russian one, should be able to find the post I just created and read the title in Russian. Currently, it's not working. We'll understand why later. So the new user, the Russian user, is able to read the title and understand if he's interested in the topic or not. If he's interested in the topic, he can enter the topic and translate the text, the content of the topic. This way, users speaking different languages are able to interact. The first user can write in his own language, and the second user can translate real time the content of the second one. Other thing that the users can do is to share private messages between single users or between group of users. They can share events. We have multiple calendars in the platform, one per country, and one main calendar shared with everybody. And a user can enter the calendar. Now my user is currently speaking Russian.
Online participants cannot see the screen he's sharing. Is there some way we can fix it? I don't know why. Otherwise, it makes no sense for them. Let's share screen.
Dov'è il...
Questo schermo qua perché sto online.
Però questo dov'è?
Questo in teoria era già
This
condiviso.
one?
Sì.
Is it right?
Okay, thank you. So here we have a shared calendar where people are free to enter their own events. There is also a repository of documents here that the user can use to store their documents, and from there they can share the links in their own posts. Now, unfortunately, we don't have further time, and so I'd like to close my speech. Well, unfortunately, something didn't work correctly, but I hope this quick presentation has been enough to let you understand what users can actually do with this platform and the potential of a technical solution allowing people to interact even if they speak different languages. Thank you all.
Yes. Okay, thank you, Davide. So I would like just to call Madina to tell us a bit more about her impressions and her feelings about using a digital platform for agroecology. Floor is to you, Madina. Thank you.
Thank you, Paula. Hello, guys. I hope everyone can hear me well. First of all, I think it's very important to highlight that I have been I don't want to say part, it sounds too big, but I have been participating and observing and watching how you guys have been creating this platform and working hard and working hard on every details for it to be more useful. And as my personal comment on the platform, I have already mentioned earlier to Paula that it is very, very users friendly, which is very important, right? And the second thing, to me personally, and I think to a lot of people, agroecology itself is a very deep topic, very, very deep topic where we really need a lot of research, information, knowledge. And from the very beginning, it was very important to share experience, share knowledge, to be connected all the time. So uh, for me personally, as a young user of Bilim platform, staying connected to all the agroecology communities, uh, seeing what they are doing, what they have been coming out with, what they have find new, what kind of solutions they have, what they think about this or other thing. It is very helpful. I think Bilim platform is a great move. It was a great move, and I believe it will work in a perfect way for us to stay connected and share more knowledge, uh, especially in agroecology, where we really need to stay connected and discuss all the time and share experience. So, like, for me, my personal experience with the Bilim platform, as per now, is perfect, and I believe it will really give a great result. Paula?
Thank you, Madina. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Yeah. Clapping on this. Sharing with us your thoughts and impression, and I'm sure if if we continue working together, we can only improve and enlarge our network and community. Now, just I would like to say a few words. We have actually Joanna. Joanna, can you hear us? Yes, there you are.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can't say perfect timing. It's even more than perfect. So, thank you, Joanna. You're just we were just at a comment from Madina, and we would like now to hear from you as well. What are your impression and expectation or feeling about a digital platform like Bilim for agroecology? Over to you, Joanna. Thanks.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you also to my the previous speakers. It's very interesting to hear about the amount of work that went into it. I was very impressed when I first encountered Bilim in May 2022 in detail, because the work on it has been going on for a long time. At the moment, the reflections I'm having about its usefulness regard primarily building partnerships in our region between different organizations. Just to give an example, we are building a project with the Kyrgyz organization Agency for Development Initiatives, where we have to operate in 3 languages, English, Russian, and Polish. The project regards transferring and sharing experience from Polish educational initiatives in agroecology to the whole of Central Asian regional network of agroecology schools. It's a very new initiative, and to work between the 3 languages, to also gather resources in one place on the drive that is attached to the Bilim platform, also to make the work visible to other organizations in other countries in our network, in one place, where the translation is instantaneous and the calendar is visible to everyone. It's really really useful tool. Also another point in which I can see the application of Bilim is to strengthen our regional national network of actors who are working for agroecology. For example, my organization is a small woman-led education and training foundation. And we organize trainings for leaders and community leaders who are mostly women. 70 to 80% are women from different regions. So to bring this coalition of leaders into one space where we can share resources on agroecology seems like a very, very useful way also for them to see what other sister organizations are doing in the region. So far, maybe one more thing that I think will be important to say in this forum is that this is not a digital platform that is aimed at harvesting our intelligence and our attention, as a lot of social media or commercial platforms are designed to do. It's a platform that is more like a field that we are cultivating together. Perhaps what I'm seeing is that it needs some trial engagement and support for people in whose context it may be just less common to use this kind of platforms for communication. But overall, it's been amazing work that Jungle Lab with Schola Campesina has done, and I'm really thankful for it. And I look forward to learning from it from other organizations.
Thank you, Joanna. Thank you for your intervention. I think it's it's very nice to use this also comparison between we have a digital field beside our physical field, and anything both the digital and the physical needs water and sun and needs feed. So we had to do the same on both sides. So I would like to share with you now just some main points, again, related to Bilim and the agroecology platform. We'll try to connect again with Doina, who is our knowledge manager expert who has been working with us since the conception of the platform. Maybe we can test, Doina, if...
Yes, Paola, can you hear me?
Oh, fantastic.
Yes.
Okay. So technology
Thank
now
you.
seems... Okay, so I just share my screen for the presentation and I let you start, Doina.
Thanks a lot, Paola. And I'm really happy to be here and to being able to connect finally. So thank you very much. I would just like to say a few words on how this tool connects to community-driven development and how it relates to such kind of approach and why it's important. Let's go. Yes. So these are my very quick few points because I would like to really highlight how this tool is essentially the result of what is the community-driven development that we can formulate as a participatory consultative process in which communities needs are integrated into the development activities. And they empower communities to the highest degree while also recognizing ownership. So this is what happened with Bilim, which is a platform that resulted from such type of process in which decisions were made with different members to reflect different needs of the community. Therefore, what is reflected in the tool represents the functioning of a group of people, and that will further facilitate this functioning, offering innovative instruments. Can we talk about community-driven digitalization? Bilim could represent an excellent example of how digitalization is integrated within the agroecological approach. Regarding technology use, it is based on trust and data safety, as also Davide was explaining to us before. And how is this involving young people in rural areas? Without being too reductive, it's important to say that agroecology has a huge attraction for young people to engage in the agricultural production. And because it integrates scientific knowledge with ecological principles, and young people opening to farming can have really a great interest in applying their knowledge and co-create new one together with other community members. while also acquiring a central role in sustainable food systems, developing digital solutions that can support further their interest, because young people, they can act as promoters of technology use among their communities. And I think this is really key to highlight. And I will now just give the word to Paola to explain more about some key aspects of the Bilim platform. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, I'll be fast. If the slides assist me. No. Okay. Okay, I go this way. So thank you, Doina, for the introduction about the Bilim and community-driven solution. So I would just like to highlight some 6 main pillars of our agroecology platform. So it is the first interregional digital platform that is specifically focused on agroecology. We have seen in the previous presentation from Davide, the platform is divided in pillars, the 11 pillars of agroecology, and we want to keep this as the connection point between all the community members. It's a tool that is built for a community, owned by a community, and also developed together with a community, and that has the objective to share information for this specific community. It is a safe place because we want to make sure that people, youth, women, feel comfortable to share their knowledge and ask questions freely, without any constrictions or any, so be able to express themselves freely in the platform. And then we have, as we mentioned, it's a multi-language platform that is, of course, one of the strengths of the application, but as any strength, it comes with some challenges. But this is part of the game, we can see, and the challenge that we want to face, and we want to face for the community and with the community. It's an interactive forum and chat where you can exchange between members of the community to share within all members, but you can also chat one-to-one if you want to send specific message to specific groups, to moderators, or to maybe your countries, the community within your country. So there are different levels of communication, and the 11 pillars of the Neleni Declaration on Agroecology are the fundamentals of this platform. And it's an open source tool built with the discourse solution that will help us to maintain the application with time, with the support of the community, a community of development, together with a community of agroecology. So just wanted to share this with you. We still have a few minutes to share some thoughts with Lily. Maybe over to you, and then with Marika.
Yes, thank you. I will be brief, so Marika has as well a few minutes. Hello, everyone. I'm the coordinator of the Hungarian Agroecology Network, and I find this tool very useful in that sense that, as Joanna was saying, that it's not only strengthening our communities ourselves, like national communities, because we can really connect from different places, geographical places, but it's as well strengthening in the sense by connecting to the international platforms and getting inspired by other communities of practices from other places of Europe and Central Asia, and even hopefully one time beyond that. And from a youth perspective, I think it's really important to stress out this safe space characteristics of it, because in most spaces, youth doesn't feel that safe because we don't get appreciated as much. We don't hear, they don't let us our voices heard. And here, I guess we can really feel all equal on the sense that we can all once we are accepted, of course, to the platform, we can write and share content related, like useful content for others. So I really feel that the involvement of youth can be really appreciated here. And as well, the speed of communication is much faster, and the different materials that can be shared are wide range. And if I look at the conversations, or how much percentage of conversations I have online compared to in-person conversations, unfortunately most of them are online, especially nowadays. So I think such a tool is super important to be in touch with our own networks in this really uh, like digital era, and as well like running from one place to another, but as well to connect with people who are working for and advocating for the same goals, and to promote agroecology, to scale it out and up. So I think it's a wonderful tool, and I'm really looking forward that our community grows stronger and stronger together. So thank you very much for developing it, and thank you for having me. Marika, over to you.
Thank you, Lily, and thank you, everyone, for having such possibility. And I can add some few words about my organization. I am representing Association Alcana, Georgia NGO, which unites organic farmers. Mostly they are small-scale farmers, and creation such a platform is really important for them, because sharing sharing just knowledge in person is not important, but to share knowledge through some new and modern technologies it's really important. Thanks to Schola Campesina and members of agroecology school, which was initiated by Schola Campesina and realized by the Jenga Lab. It was created in interactive manner. Every member was involved, and the platform itself is really easy to use and useful, and also to obtain any information through this platform, it's really easy. Also, it's really important that it is multi language, so you can get membership easily and search some information in your language. And organizations participating in Bilim are united around the goal to erase such gap between traditional knowledge and technological tools. And we are looking forward to involve our members, especially youth, which is really important in case of agriculture and agroecology development in our region, and to increase their knowledge through such modern technologies. Thank you, Paula.
Thank you, Marika. So thank you so much, and Lily as well. So you have seen today a lot of speakers. This is not by chance. We are a big community, and the community are the core. People are the core of the community. So it's nice to have contribution from all of you from different countries, and as part of this community. Over to Carolina and Andrea, if they want to say some final remarks. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. And it's true, the speakers who were here with us, they were really active, involved in the process. And yeah, Anya, Lily, Magina, Joanna, Marika, they are farmers. They are they're really on the field. So the designing process was made by them, let's say. Here we had Jenga Lab just as the facilitator. One of the questions that we got in the chat, so I will try to address, is how you join the platform, and you can't. So why? This is, and this is a really strong point. This platform is for farmers, from farmers to farmers. We are now in the platform, all of us, and I keep saying that we hope they kick us off quite fast, because we are just helping and facilitating the process. And once they don't need us anymore, we should leave, and you'll be in the safe place, able to share the information they consider valuable. To join the platform, we have this group of organizations. So the one that is the community of practice, that was the one designing the platform with us. And they have the autonomy to decide who can join and who has to leave also. So they have all the power is with the farmers. And that's why this is so different, and that's why this platform is so unique. Once you're there, you know that the farmers there, they know you somehow, you have organization. We are in the first phase that they are inviting a new organization to join the community of practice that come completely horizontal from their action, and it's very nice because it's an organization in Ukraine that came from our relationship with other organizations in Moldova. So it's really organic and driven by them. And that's what we fight for it. So we really hope people here in this room cannot join the platform, which is quite weird when you think about tools. But it's like when you have private sector, you have a lot of safe space where people can share and farmers don't have access. So now is their time to have their own safe space. And if this, Andrea, do you want to say a few words to close?
Just a couple, thanks to Jenga Lab, because I think that we made a giant effort to put different community with different knowledge. This is what is the essential part of agroecology. We talk about dialogue of the saberes. So it's a dialogue between different knowledge. And we have all the agriculture and food sector knowledge, let's say, and the other part, the software designer that were joining us. And this is our challenge. We have common value. We have a right space approach. This is our common value. And then we need to put together our knowledge to build something that is extremely important for all of us, because it's our knowledge. The economic value in the future is the knowledge. It's more than our tomatoes. So we need to keep our knowledge in our hands, and we need to share our knowledge, and we need to have a safe space to do that. And to do that, we need to build alliance, and this is an example of this alliance. So I'm extremely grateful for those incredible group of Jenga Lab that help us to put together all that. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And welcome to Bilim platform.
That you cannot access.
I don't know if there are questions maybe from the public or curiosity or anything. Marco.
So thank you very much. Maybe I can ask a question related to if like you think what the link between the agroecology and the open source technology. So I think like also we had discussed about this, but I think like clarification maybe could be a good point. And also one question related, how is important the role of moderator in order to ensure the long-term sustainability of the platform? And what about the first action that the moderator should be act in order to ensure like so the long-term sustainability? So that's like was my question. Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna answer the first question. Open source software, like free software, it's almost the same thing, but it's okay. It's a complex question. Anyway, open source software is meant to ensure people some freedoms, some basic freedoms, such as the freedom to run a software, to modify it, to redistribute it. And in the Free Software Foundation manifesto, it is clearly stated. And I think it's important that for a project like ours, it's very important to use this kind of software to be free from vendors that surely have different values than our communities. So I think it's important, considering our community values, to move towards free software and stop using proprietary software.
Yeah, agroecology, in the sense, as you have seen, the homepage of Bilim is built around the 11 principles of the Nyeleni Declaration on Agroecology. So this is our approach. It's in somehow it's an educational approach on agroecology. That's it's not by chance that this tool is used by the agroecology school of the organization. And this is linked to the moderator's role, because the moderators Who are the moderators? Moderators are just people of the organizations. Those tools are in the hand of the farmer, of the food producers organization, and they can allow people in the community because they are the one that knows. So because the idea is that in the agroecology school, we have physical trainings, then we need to keep contact between one physical training and another. But who will be in the community? People that are sharing the same value, people that are building the organization. That is a fundamental principle of agroecology. We cannot do agroecology by our own. We need to build together something. So this is why the moderators plays an essential role in allowing them and keeping alive the platform. This is extremely important. We have a facilitating role in that sense.
Okay. No, I think, yeah, we thank you. More questions? Yes. Hello.
Hello. Валентина Совкина, Раша. Я попрошу Аню помочь перевести, если это возможно.
Давайте попробуем.
Ага. А я хочу... Да.
Do we need a translation? Okay.
I can help with the translation.
Anya is covering the translation. Okay, thank you, Anya.
This is the beauty of a community of practice, huh?
Да. Спасибо большое школе Campesina за то, что есть возможность информировать и создали такой сайт, который позволит объединить народы.
Thank you very much to Schola Campesina for what they're doing and for creating this website, this portal, that platform that can connect people of different countries and cultures.
Когда мы работали с сайтом, то меня очень удивил подход к языкам народов, то есть на всех языках и даже саамский.
I was very impressed when we were working, when we were developing the platform, that there were all the languages and even Sami, which is the language of our indigenous peoples. And Valentina is from Sami indigenous people.
И я уверена, что школа Campesina и портал — это большое будущее для того, чтобы мы могли поднимать, сохранять нашу землю и поднимать нашу культуру.
I think that Schola Campesina and this portal, Bilim, is our future to save our land, to develop it. А что было после земли, Валентина?
Что?
А что вы сказали после земли? Поднимать нашу землю и что дальше?
Да, и сохранять наши культуры.
And to preserve our culture.
Это язык, это традиции, это питание.
Traditions, gastronomy, food culture, so.
Я с вами.
I'm with you.
Спасибо большое.
No, so I'm just answering one of the questions that we have from Angela Cordero, that about the platform, if it's open for other regions. And I think this is something that we have to discuss with this network. And yes, if the farmers, because again, we don't own this. Valentina owns this, Anya owns this. So I guess we could have some meetings and facilitate. So our role here is just to facilitate the communication between other networks and see if they would like to join. And yes, then you'll be their problem to add more language, but okay, we have 10 languages. We have 10 alphabets. I don't think you can add much more, in the word. So yes.
Okay, thank you, Carolina. Yes, Lucas.
I had a question with regards to encryption as well as like data storage. I mean, I don't know how the internet works really, but I know that there are like NASes, which are like clouds that you have at home, or instead of having the website stored on a server that is owned by a certain host website, or where this data is stored, or where these conversations that the farmers are having are stored, just in terms of safety, let's say, with certain farmers communicating in a country, whether or not they can be, whether the communication could be accessed from external spaces.
Thank you for this question. I think over to Davide for this. It's a discussion point we had for quite a while, so thank you.
Okay, when we started the project, we had to decide how to implement our solution. And we considered many things, among them also the security issue. And in the end, we decided to use Discourse because it uses test some safety considerations included in the code. For example, the two-factor authentication and things like that. And we also had to decide where to host the software. And our first choice was to buy a server and host it in our infrastructure. But the problem was we didn't have any infrastructure. So we had to move to some other solutions. We considered buying a hosting solutions. There are some ethical one, but eventually neither the ethical ones nor the standard ones had the infrastructure requirements that we needed. So eventually we decided to go cloud. So we bought a cloud service. It's a standard one, nothing special. We'll consider in the future if it will be possible to move to any other solution, maybe more sustainable. But for the moment, we are hosted by a cloud service. You're welcome.
Any other questions? Or? No? So I would like to thank everybody on behalf of Jenga Lab and Schola Campesina for joining us today. And it has been a pleasure for us to present our work and present the community of practice. And thanks also to all the people and girls and speakers online. And yes, so well done, I have to say, to everybody, and looking forward to continue the work of the community of practice. Thank you.